Good afternoon, friends. Thank you so much for joining me here. Brand new checks have been approved by state governors, so more and more Americans can receive additional financial relief as they continue to recover from this crisis. Friends, welcome back to my channel. This is your latest stimulus news and information. I do post multiple times a day to bring you up to date on breaking news in Congress. Please, friends, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and stay tuned until the end of this video. As the United States confronts rising inflation, slower job gains, and a very crippled supply chain, a new study finds that Americans most in need of a stimulus check at the beginning of this crisis continue to suffer the most. The first 3 rounds of stimulus checks, spanning 2 presidencies, were critical to lower earners. Research with Capital One Insight Center found that 3 rounds of stimulus checks spanning 2 presidencies were very critical to low earners, but it didn't go far enough for them. The study started in spring of 2020, with the authors administering surveys to a nationally representative group of Americans every 4 to 8 months to learn more about the crisis's impact, from how they use their stimulus checks to their view of the U.S. economic recovery. All of those respondents fell into 3 annual income groups: less than $25,000, $25,000 to $100,000, and over $100,000. The respondents fell into 3 annual income groups: less than $25,000, $25,000 to $100,000, and over $100,000. Researchers found that lower earners were more likely than other groups to have spent the final stimulus payments on their bills. Part of the reason for that was a lack of recovery from the nation's poorest. The study found that while job and income loss was devastating during the spring of 2020, wave in the United States, how Americans fared in the years since varied greatly depending on several factors.
This week, the Senate will have an opportunity to engage in a momentous and urgent debate, protecting the right to vote in free and fair elections. Later this evening, I'll begin the process for the Senate to consider the Freedom to Vote Act, a powerful new bill designed to fortify our democracy, protect the vote, and renew the American people's trust in our elections. After I file cloture tonight on the motions to proceed, members can expect the vote to take place on Wednesday. The Freedom to Vote Act is a balanced, effective, and common-sense bill. It sets basic standards for all Americans to vote safely and securely while protecting elections from subversion. It fights back against the power of big money and ends partisan gerrymandering while respecting the role of states in carrying out elections. The bill represents the first time every single Senate Democrat has united on voting rights legislation. It's a strong bill. It advances election reforms proven to work in red, blue, and purple states across the country. I thank my colleagues, all of my colleagues, in putting this bill together. I thank them for their dedication in advancing the simple idea that all Americans, no matter what zip code they live in, should have the freedom to vote safely and securely. I want to particularly thank Senator Manchin, who has led the way in finding common ground with our Republican colleagues on this proposal. It's now time for us to move forward on this legislation as promised. Now, just so we're all clear, the vote that will happen on Wednesday is a procedural vote to begin debate on the bill. Voting yes does not mean signing on any policy or bill text. It's rather an invitation for senators to come to the table to debate, to deliberate, and compromise, just as the Senate was meant to do. If there's anything worthy of debate in this chamber, it should be protecting and strengthening our democracy.
During that spring, 32 to 36% reported income loss, a number that has not changed much from the lower third of earners. For the other 2 groups, however, the study found that only half of respondents were still reporting income loss. After the 3rd stimulus check, the $1,400 payment under the American Rescue Plan, that balancing act became tougher for many Nearly a third of low earners reported in August 2021 that they had to borrow money from friends and families to take care of their bills. The cost of child care compounded the struggle to pay bills for many, with 50% of lower earners and 30% of middle earners stating in August that they were either forced to cut back on working to take care of their children or give up their jobs entirely. This is compared to 18% of higher earners. Republicans and Democrats are continuing to spar over funding the government, and that the Biden administration's now $2 trillion spending package to improve social services and fight climate change. There are several Democratic lawmakers that would love for a fourth round of stimulus payments to be sent out to millions of Americans. Capital One Insight Center researchers are not the only ones calling the stimulus payments critical to the United States recovery. In September, nonpartisan advocacy group, the Senior Citizens League, warned that the cost of goods and services, government economic experts estimated recent increases in inflation, means the cost of living adjustment for 2022 will approach 6%, which is a big jump from the 1.3% COLA awarded for this year. So right now, the Senior Citizens League is mounting a big campaign to urge Congress to pass a fourth round of stimulus checks that would send $1,400 payments to all Social Security recipients. Friends, the key word for this video is pumpkin. If you would like to enter this Friday's Walmart gift card giveaway, please comment below this keyword, like this video, and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Federal stimulus checks have been distributed at various points of this crisis, and states across our nation are individually providing various economic offerings which provide welcome relief to families up and down America. The second Golden State Stimulus Program is sending out stimulus payments to millions of Californian residents, generally for $600, but families with eligible children can receive an extra $500. These checks started going out in late August and will continue in batches every 2 weeks through the fall. But in order to qualify, you must have been a California resident for most of 2020 and still live there, file a 2020 tax return, have earned less than $75,000 a year, have a Social Security number or an individual taxpayer identification number, and also your children cannot be claimed as a dependent by another tax. Friends, thank you so much for joining me here this afternoon. I greatly and truly appreciate all of you who are watching my videos. And to say thank you, please make sure that you enter the keyword for this video, like my video, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much and have a very blessed week.